So now we kind of like compare, no? Ano compare natin ngayon, ano yung parang differences, no, ng dalawa side by side. So let's look at first purpose and focus. So on your right, as you watch this, you have the purpose and focus. That's for qualitative research. And for the other side is for quantitative research. Okay, so again, qualitative research is about discovering, interpreting meaning and perception, as opposed to quantitative, that is testing hypotheses developed before the research begins. I think that's self-explanatory. Another is that for qualitative research, the study is particular to a subject group and replication is rare. Samantala, pag quantitative ka, standardized yun. Kasi you have to introduce certain constraints para you can be sure that this variable is affected by this variable kasi na-control mo yung environment. So, kailangan po yan. So, replication across different sites is possible. Kasi nga, in quantitative, gusto po natin generalizability. Generalizability means that whatever findings you have here in Iligan can be applied in Leyte, in Manila, in China, in Thailand. So that's what it means to have generalizability. Units of analysis, sa qualitative, kailangan purposive siya. So, for example, pag pipili ka sa grounded theory, for example, yung example ko kanina sa dissertation ni Dr. Rabi Lavillas. Rabi Lavillas ba yun? Dr. Rabi. Yeah, Dr. Rabi of CCS. Diba, yung purpose niya, kailangan niyang mag-come up with theory about freelancers. So definitely, hindi siya mag-i-interview ng government employee kasi hindi man siya freelancer. So purposive talaga yung pag-select niya ng kanyang respondents. Mantala, pag quantitative ka, random. Kasi we are about generalizability. So random siya. Next, data. Okay? I think na-discuss ito kanina, textual and secondary, transcripts, audio tapes, all of those things, as opposed to numbers and fixed responses for the quantitative. Ito, medyo marami methods tayo. Qualitative is less structured, mostly focused on observation interviews to generate rich description, versus quantitative, meron kang structured instruments and standardized data. Qualitative naman, questions are typically open-ended. It means that you can answer with anything that you want. You can have as many multiple answers, which allows for flexibility in response, as opposed to close-ended and fixed response set of choices for quantitative. Qualitative, the researcher, ikaw, as a researcher, is the main instrument of the inquiry. No? So, ikaw yung pinaka-instrumento sa qualitative research. Yung mga tools mo such as semi-structured interview guides, observation strategies, protocols, and secondary data. Ito, lahat ng ito, these are just support of you. Kaya nga, in undergraduate thesis, it is frowned upon. Talaga, it's frowned upon na magka-qualitative research ka. Kasi kailangan siya, it needs a lot of experience, at the same time, expertise in terms of how to handle people, being empathizing to them, being able to kind of like get messages that are not said, no, the implied messages, the gestures, all of these things. You need to be more aware of that if you are a qualitative researcher. So for quantitative, survey, no? Wala kang problema, di ba? Survey yan variables, specific siya. Tapos, yun nga lang, kailangan systematic yung pag-gather ng data, right? Systematic and standardized. So, balik tayo sa quali. Research generally takes place in the field and often involves face-to-face encounters with the subjects, as opposed to quantitative na pwedeng without direct contact. Pwede ka mag-Google Forms and you're done, right? So, kahit hindi mo kilala sino yung respondents mo, okay lang. Kasi you're after their response rather than after the person or their experiences or their perception for that matter. So, yeah, that's the difference between the two. Moving forward, results and analysis. For qualitative, again, it's about interpretation of information using categories, themes, and motifs. identify patterns and relationships as opposed to standardized statistical and procedural analysis for quantitative. And qualitative, again, results are in-depth explanations of patterns of behaviors as opposed to quantitative, which is about summarizing patterns of similarities, variability, size, direction, or significance of any differences between specific groups. So, naitanong ko sa last na lecture, ano ba yung sample measure for variability, variance, at saka standard deviation? The spread, no? Tinatawag na yung spread of the data. Okay.